As I reflected on what the topics that speakers should tackle should be, and what speakers I should invite for this conference, the very first thing I thought we should do is on the Friday night do a very serious, rigorous, practical exposition of James chapter 3 verses 1 to 12. There isn't any more scary, amazing statement about the power of the tongue in all the Bible. It's that passage that relates to the tongue as a bit in the horse's mouth and a rudder under the boat. And the comparison is the horse is big and it's strong and you can guide it with a bit. And the boat is huge. And this rudder is tiny by comparison to the boat, and the rudder guides the whole boat. And that's the comparison with this little instrument in our mouth. And the point is, if you could control this, you could guide the whole horse, the whole you. You could guide the whole ship, the whole you. And guess what? You can't. Nobody can control this wild animal in your mouth called the tongue. Even though if you could, it said, if you could control the tongue, you would be a perfect man. And then it uses language that's absolutely explosive. It says, this thing, they didn't have matches back then. I don't know how they started fires, something like that. But this thing starts a forest ablaze with a fire set on fire by hell. I mean, the language in James 1 is amazing. And it just elevates the intensity of the reality of this tongue in every area of life. It can be so full of blessing and so full of destruction. So it moves on down into that statement that a spring shouldn't bring forth salt water and fresh water, which is like bringing forth cursing and blessing, and yet out of the same mouth comes cursing and blessing. Brothers, these things ought not to be so. So that whole paragraph, I think, is right at the heart of what this conference is. And so I thought, now who could unpack that with depth and seriousness and practical application? And I thought I would like to hear Sinclair Ferguson tackle that. Sinclair Ferguson has been at our conference more than once. He is Scottish by extraction. He's in America now at Presbyterian Church in Columbia, South Carolina, adjunct professor at Westminster, and a profound theologian and a great exegete and blood earnest when it comes to biblical exposition. We need Friday night to simply have the Word of God opened for us so that we know, what do these things mean? This tongue set on fire by hell and causing a great forest to go ablaze, and cursing and blessing coming out of the same mouth, and the rudder and the bit. What is all of that? Help us, Sinclair, get a biblical orientation before we launch into these practical themes. So that's topic number one and speaker number one, and I look forward to that Friday night session with great expectation for illumination in my own mind, for a biblical perspective on the whole weekend.